their sport of choice.
100%, man. So the MLS has a structure of playing games as a playoff. So you've got the Western Conference and then you got the Eastern Conference, right? I think there's 14 or 15 teams now. I believe it's 14 in the Western and 12 in the Eastern. So it's about 26 teams so far. And so they do the competition, then they go into playoff season. And one thing that I even saw Zlatan criticize is that once a team knows that they're not making a playoff, like they kind of like the players don't work as hard anymore. And even then, like through the whole season, if you have to be a top 8 or a top 9, 10 team to qualify for a playoff where there's only 14 or 12 teams, like that's like the competition isn't there. So even if you lose 4 games in a row, you still know, okay, I got a shot at making a playoff. So do you think that kind of format is hurting the league or hurting the perspective of the league?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's like, you know, one of the only leagues that I can think of that has like a champion, like a playoff kind of format.
Yeah.
You know, is like the EFL.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, you know, obviously not the Premier League, but everything below there. Like the championship, like they have like the highest like paid or highest like earnings in terms of like what you can win from winning a final.
Yeah.
And that's like, and it's not even close comparing like to any other leagues. But I also think because there's so many teams that can make those like the playoffs, it's kind of like, oh, well, we can do really good at the beginning of the season, kind of secure our spot, and we could just like put in the resis or like second string, give them their minutes because we're just gonna go to the playoffs anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. The difference there, I think, with the second league in the English league is that like the top 2 teams make it, and then there's a playoff spot for the third team to go to the Premier League. So that to me makes sense. Okay, you're driving a little bit more revenue with the third team. The top 2 teams that were the most consistent made it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out a system that we could have that's kind of similar to that, right? Maybe if instead of doing playoffs, they just had all the teams together and the number 1 would win the league, or have all the teams together and maybe do a playoff of the top four teams, right?
Yeah.
Something different, because I think what happens is that complacency isn't good for the league, right?
Not at all. I think honestly, like, I wish that if the league was financially like structured like this, and you know, like the USL had money as well, and NPSL and all the leagues that are below the USL, like if they had the financial capital to like kind of have like a relegation system,
Yeah.
I mean, that would be perfect.
It would.
Oh, there would be Chicago Fire would have been relegated. They would have been like the most relegated team of all time.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
Don't you get like some sort of like wooden spoon or something like that? Like if you have like a terrible season, you get like some sort of like
I think they do something now, which I'm not too familiar with like the MLS draft and things of that. So I think you get like different picks. And I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, it kind of like, to me, it doesn't feel like soccer when you do stuff like that.
It's so like NBA, NFL, NHL, every major sport. And it's like all teams have is the transfer window.
Yeah.
Like everywhere else. So I feel like, why don't we just have like a transfer window? Like why don't we have, we do obviously, but like, I don't understand like why we use the draft. But
so the thing like their mindset is, hey, let's try to make every team competitive and keep everybody kind of like not create superpowers. But at the same time, I still think you need big clubs, you know? So,
for sure.
Yeah, like people are going to watch Liverpool versus Sheffield United, not because of Sheffield United. Most of them are going to watch it because of Liverpool.